Well, here's a turn up for the books. The kind folk at Sports Interactive have given me alpha access to FM26. The fools! Now, time is finite, so today I'll be taking a look at manager creation, the new user interface, a little bit of tactics, and the matchday experience. So let's get straight to it. Here's the start screen. Looks neat. We can start a new career and we're prompted to create a manager. There's a number of presets here. Let's pick Baldy in the middle. And from there we can customize build, tone, height, the usual suite of facial options, and a set of outfits. And here I am, fat bastard with a beard and absolutely no cake. I think it looks good, definitely an improvement on previous FMs. There is no face scan, and hair is still questionable, so I guess I'm sticking with a skinhead. Now it's on to our character. Nothing out of the ordinary to begin with. Name, gender, date of birth, followed by nationality and languages. Then it's credentials. It's a new way of displaying it, but otherwise very familiar for us FM veterans. Pick your playing experience. I'm going with lower league veteran. The next step is new, our non-playing history. From the drop-downs here, we can pick a non-playing football-related role prior to us becoming manager. Let's go with pundit, and say we were nationally recognised. I really hope this is going to tie into our day-to-day management, maybe brought up in interviews or held against us when things go wrong. Then finally, coaching qualifications. Again, familiar. I'd expect us to have at least Continental badges if we're going to get a top job, so let's go for Continental C. And now our reputation is set. Our combined credentials give us regional reputation. I'm famous, but only in North Cambridgeshire. Next up, coaching style. We've got attributes, but they are not numbers. I heartily approve, but I imagine this is going to be a little divisive. Back to the styles, and we can pick up to 3, but I need just 2, defensive and tactician. And we can see this has now shaped our attributes and added some tendencies. Personality allows us to pick 2, but I'm going for just resilient here, and that makes me a natural leader apparently. And there we have it. Johnny Musterman is ready to embark on a new journey. I like this. It's nice to have a little more depth to our backstory, and by starting with already defined tendencies, we no longer feel like we're being airdropped into a club out of nowhere. The process is simple, the interface smart. It's a small thing in the grand scheme of the whole game, but a good first impression. We can now start our career. Quick start is great, but I want to change some of the advanced options. For the sake of speed, I'm only going to load a few leagues, some men's, some women's. As with FM24, there's the option of Real World, where transfers occur on the day they happened in real life, and Your World, where you start with a squad at the beginning of the transfer window. But I want to play with the squads as they are currently, so we're going original mode. And for that reason, I'm turning off the first transfer window in the advanced settings. Team selection is again very familiar. I want to check out the Premier League licenses, so naturally I'll be taking over the team I support, Aston Villa. We've got expectations, history, kits, objectives, budgets, competitions, rivalries, all the information we need really. And we can take a sneak peek at the squad before we commit. And oh look, pop-ups exist. Let's confirm, get a little news article to mark our arrival, and we can hit begin career. And here is the fabled portal. I'm immediately drawn to the news at the top. I think it's that little animated timer catching my eye. Clicking through brings up the article. Seems pretty much as expected. I like the contextual information on the right here. We've got the key player, we've got the club site, and we can click through there. And going back takes us back to where we were. Perfect. This feels huge to me. Having news front and centre has the real potential to keep you informed of what's going on in the game world. Of course, it depends on what the game considers newsworthy. Right now, it's pre-season reports. Makes sense, we've just started. I'm keen to see how useful this is as we progress. And here it is later in the season. We've got news about our rivals, rumours, upcoming opponents, and events around the world. This is promising. Next opposition report, we have how many days until the game, their standing, expected formation, and clicking through gives us very little. To be fair, no matches have been played, so of course there's little info here. A little later in the season here, and it's much more useful. Then we have fixtures, and it's showing Liverpool-Bournemouth. This is the next fixture in the next competition we are playing in, so if our next game is in the Europa League, this box will show whatever the next Europa League matches are. The calendar looks like it's trying to pack in a lot of information here. A summary of training sessions, actions, these appear to be linked to the inbox, which we'll get to in a moment, and the matches are highlighted, which is nice. Clicking through takes you to a dedicated page. We've got toggles up top, general, training, and fixtures. These are all calendar related things, all in one place, with a way of switching between views. Makes sense. Back to the portal, and the fixture schedule will also link to that page. We have all the information we need here though: date, opposition, competition, venue, and time. Perfect. The final tile is stages, and that's a weird name for a league table. Because, like the little fixtures tile, it's context dependent. Now we can see some UI jank here, a reminder that this is an alpha build and hopefully something that will be fixed. From the pop-up we get a more detailed table. We can then choose any other competition, which is a nice touch. We no longer have to go via that competition's page, but if we wanted to, we can reach that from here. I've left the inbox to last. Sorry, messages. I've made no bones about my objection to emails. There are so many of them, and this seems no different. We've just started, and we already have 11 messages to get through. That said, I don't mind this overview. I can immediately see what needs a response, thanks to the exclamation point. There's 4 of them, and a button here telling me I have 4 tasks. The mortarboard icon indicates an induction. The speech icon indicates staff advice. Once I've played a bit more and got familiar with these larger icons on the left, I imagine I will also be able to recognise those emails that I want to track. We can click on any message from here, and that takes us to the dedicated messages section. So we've got the main body and the contextual tiles. Again, a very familiar experience for FM veterans, but incorporated into the new UI system. I have perhaps been the biggest advocate of the tile approach since SI announced it. I am a massive fan of high-level overviews that you can then drill down into deeper. That will come as no surprise, I absolutely adore this. I can see a broad view of what's going on and quickly identify if there's something I need to check further. That's exactly what I want from an overview. So let's take a look at some of the others. On the squad overview, we have an overview of the squad. Mind-blowing. We can toggle between senior and youth teams here, which is nice. I like that we get quick snapshots of training improvement and regression, whether there are any issues with our atmosphere/dynamics, an easy way to identify our top youth prospects and when the next intake will be. And the medical centre and discipline lets us know if we have any player availability issues. In the recruitment overview, I love the contract tile. A really easy way of seeing how many and which contracts are ending soon. Otherwise, nothing particularly special. It is exactly what you expect here, whether that's transfer activity, recommendations, scouting assignments, and so on. The matchday overview is where tactics belong. We're too early in the season for many of these tiles to be useful, so let's fast forward, because this is a screen I used a lot. In particular, it's the overview of our team performance in the data hub, and the information from the next opposition report. I can and will dive deeper into these, but I can already see key information ahead of our next game. The club overview I have a feeling I'm not going to use as much. Board feedback and staffing are both very useful areas, but I'm not sure there's much here where I'll be regularly checking in for updates. Then finally, career. Me. Again, can't imagine I'll visit here often, but it'll be nice at certain points throughout a save to check in on the progress. From a design perspective, it's great. It's clean, it's simple, it's logical. But it's also a big change for those who've played FM before. It took me a while to get used to it, especially remembering which headings certain areas were under, and then where the tile was positioned within that overview. Some of that just takes time, but there's also a secret weapon: bookmarks. They're bloody brilliant. I use them as shortcuts to the main pages I visit, and they are an integral part of how I navigate the game. It's now second nature. And let's use them to take us to the squad screen. The first thing to notice is everything is bigger than it's been in previous FMs. This is great for me. I prefer less information on the page, but I know that many of you are the exact opposite. You can still customize your views, but it will be fewer columns overall. Otherwise, it's very much par for the course. But let's get into the best bit of a new FM, the players. Starting with the greatest player of all time, Morgan Rogers. Crazy dribbling, immense balance, suboptimal off the ball. I think that's a pretty good assessment. He's a 3.5-star winger in possession and a 3.5-star winger out of possession. The compare button shows his standing compared to the squad, and the button on the right is the attribute polygon with a snazzier design. I've spoken before about how I like this layout. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the attributes, and the supporting information is in the tiles in a single row below. But we can also use the boxes up top too. This is nice. You've got information about value, interest, we can see how far through his contract he is, but the bit I really like is the breakdown of actions on the left, it being split between your director of football and the agent. It helps break up that list, and I find that much more digestible. We can also get to the coach report with its pros and cons by clicking on the ability stars. I reckon I'll be using that a lot. That information is accessible in other ways. The personal tab has a load of tiles for happiness, transfers, contracts, etc. Performance has the coach report, form, training, and career has his biography, career stats, and so on. Let's look at some other players, like the spicy meatball John McGinn. A little underwhelming, probably a fair reflection of his actual talent, but his arse alone should give him a 20 for balance, right? Tielemans is pretty saucy though. I don't think Villa have had an 18 passing, 18 vision player ever. An absolute class act. We don't have all day to look at the squad. Let's check out tactics. Again, for FM veterans this is very familiar. We start with a tactical style. There are now pros and cons to each style to help guide us with our decisions. That's a nice touch. We're then asked to pick our in-possession formation. There's 3 suggestions, but we can expand that list and we will be able to move players around later. It's the same out of possession. 3 recommendations, but a larger list if we so wish. We've got 4 tactic views. Combined averages the positions from the in-possession tab and the out of possession tab. Both shows them side by side. We can click on a player role to bring up a list of those available. Again, we've got the familiar explainer and animation. What I really like though is the summary on the left, helping to distinguish what each does. We can also select roles by right-clicking in the same space. Okay, I've skipped ahead a bit. You already briefly saw the formation I'm using earlier on in the video, and this is what I'm working with. If we head on over to the Combine tab, we can now see how the Advanced Playmaker / Centre Forward appears kind of halfway between those 2 positions. I also want to talk about these little arrows. They show player movement. Pink for in possession. We've got the half-back dropping, the wing-backs getting forward, the inside forwards cutting diagonally. If I change one of the wingers to a tracking winger out of possession, we also get a green arrow. If we pop to team instructions, we've got the visualizer, and we can see our shape depending on where the ball is. In build up, we've got all these wonderful triangles. Then as we move up the pitch, the inside forwards tuck in, and the wing backs provide the width. As I was doing this, we got contextual team instructions that we can change. Truthfully, I prefer the all instructions button. I just find it easier having it all at once. I can change things from here, but if I need a better understanding, we can again click through, and I love the pros and cons here to help make those decisions. Absolutely glorious. There's no other way I can describe it. In and out of possession formations has given us a whole new world to explore, and that can be quite overwhelming. But with the descriptions and the pros and cons, it's clear that a lot of effort has been made so that we can make informed decisions. Now, if you want to have a more in-depth look at tactics, go check out the wonderful TREQUINHO. His alpha video is linked in the description below. We're going to head to the match day. Right, Villa Newcastle. Premier League licenses means real life fixtures. That's kind of neat. So we will pop over to the team talk here, and it's a new layout, but very familiar for experienced FM players. Premier League licenses also means Premier League lineups. Snazzy. That's the second time I've said that in this video. I don't think I've ever used that word before. Now, I absolutely love this. The cutscenes are just so dramatic. I know we've had them before with like UEFA competitions, but this seems so much more. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to see it once or twice and then skip it for most matches. When it comes to those derbies or those title deciders, it's really going to help ramp up that atmosphere. I absolutely love it. Right, we're just going to pause here and we can pop it through the interface here. So clicking here, we've got the in possession, out of possession formations, and we can see that as well by toggling. We've also got stats. So we're only a minute in, there's nothing really here right now, but we can toggle between those options. Down below, we've got latest scores, and the toggle there shows us the league table, which is quite nice. Match events, again, won't be populated right now, but we can skip through. We've got match day info, match stats. When that expands, we've got a lot more information. We've got the advanced stats here, then key stats as standard. And then finally, we've got dugout, which when it expands, we can see everything. Game's gone. Game's gone. The defender wearing red boots. What is this nonsense? Right, anyway, Rodgers comes away, holds it up well. McGinn! Oh! Now, I really like, we can kind of see it here as the way that they shape their bodies when they pass. It's really nice. That's that volumetric, and that's a lovely ball through Donny Mellon. Donny! Right, we've been a little bit, I was just going to say, we've been a bit sloppy as Rodgers gives it away there. Straight at Emmy, pretty decent save. And I love this. Okay, so these little zoomed in moments for like corners and free kicks, I want more of this. Okay, looks like Newcastle are starting to get a foothold in the game now. Here's Gordon to Voltemada. Back to Joelinton. Seem to be a little bit passive here. And Voltemada's in behind. Oh, good save, Emmy. Right, we need to be a bit more aggressive. We're going to go to instructions here. We can flick using these toggles, or we can click in. And there we've got tackle harder. Okay, hopefully a chance for us to do something here. And we've got Rodgers over. Can we send him in? Rodgers in behind. Takes it early. It's a good save by Ramsdale. Here's Tonali in. Oh, what a filthy touch from Voltemada. Oh, if they'd scored there, I couldn't have been sad. Right, just going to up the tempo. I play a little bit wide as well. We're having joy down the flanks. I shall show you supporting runs, because this I think people will get caught out. Click into it so that you can choose between overlap and underlap. Let's talk about match speed. Currently in between highlights, I'm playing at 8 times speed. That allows me to see what's going on in the 2D pitch properly, identify structures, see our build-up, see how we're defending. Now that is the slowest speed possible. It goes all the way up to 40 speed. But in a 90-minute match, if there were no highlights, no pauses, no stoppages, that does mean a game would take a minimum of 12 minutes. I don't mind this. It allows me to take my time over the game and really enjoy what's going on, but those higher speeds exist for those that want to rattle through nice and quickly. Right, 10 minutes or so going. Voltemada drops deep. Newcastle spread it out wide. Oh, and Trippier's absolutely done him, and Claire Balding fires over. Oh, we got away with one there. Right, can we do something now? Here's Martin. Nice little play in between them, doing quite well. Rodgers inside. Buendía's in behind. This has got to be. Oh, Emmy. Right, we've got a throw in here on the right. Here's Marlon. Haven't really seen much of Marlon up until now. Right, at half time, pretty even game. I think we can be okay with that. Right, what to say? Let's be positive. Passing's been good. Right, that's Marlon's last moment. Let's bring in Ollie. And I think we're going to ask Buendía just to hold up the ball a little. Wait for those runs to develop. Right, here come Newcastle. Early in the half. Gordon skips away from his man. What can he do here? Has to go backwards, which I'm fine with. Ramsey with a chance. Just wide. Just wide. Oh, we're doing a nice job. Nice little bit of build up here. Here's Tielemans. They're a lovely ball out. I love those cross-field passes. This looks so nice. Right, what can we create a chance here? Watkins with the knockdown. Buendia with the goal. Emi Buendia from Argentina. He came to Villa from Carrow Road. He's 5'7", he's football heaven. But please don't take Miami away. Okay, just hoof it clear. And, oh, here we go. Rodgers on the ball. Rodgers keeps on going. Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. Right, Newcastle's time just to hit it. Onana to Cash, to Onana, to Cash, to Onana, to Cash. There are other players on the team, guys, like Buendia. Not much of a chance there. Ramsey, hoofs it clear now. Voltemada does Konza. Voltemada and another. Voltemada. Oh, that would have been quite nice. Okay, Newcastle are really ramping up the pressure, but Rodgers, greatest player in the world. Here's Buendia. Oh, that's a hospital pass. That is a horrible pass. And Onana with the glorious foul. Right, just send it long. And once again, Newcastle come back at us. This is like the third or fourth highlight in a moment. Voltemada peels off. And that's over. Right, one final highlight. All right, let's last few seconds. Surely we've won this now. Digne, tackled by Gordon. Come on, ref, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. And there we have it. There we have it. 1-0, Aston Villa. What a perfect start. That was a lot of fun, but I don't necessarily know how to surmise the experience. This is still FM at its core, a vast and detailed database, a deep and engaging tactical layer. That feeling of wanting to play just one more game, it's all there. But the UI change is massive. I absolutely adore the interface. It's modern, it's vibrant, it addresses the things I've been talking about with skinning for the last 4 years. But it's for those reasons I might be more open to the changes. I recognise there's plenty of experienced FM players who won't want to relearn everything they've built over the last 5, 10, 20 or even 30 years. It took me time to get used to it, but time is precious and not everyone has that to give. It's worth adding a reminder this is an alpha build. There are bugs, and you've seen yourself there are some elements that still look a little janky. My major gripes are subjective. I think some things could be laid out differently, maybe some tiles aren't necessary, or I'd like different information to be surfaced. That said, it's probably a good sign that it's the subjective things that irk me, rather than say a core mechanic. There is one metric and one metric only that matters: fun. Since I got my hands on the alpha, I haven't been able to put it down. I can only speak for myself, but I'm really enjoying it. Long may it continue. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like or maybe even subscribing to the channel. In the next couple of days, I hope to release a follow-up taking a look at Moneyball in the alpha, seeing what has changed with the statistical side of the game and how that might impact those of us who enjoy taking a data-led approach. Keep your eyes peeled. Before I go, I want to give a massive thank you to those who have supported the channel over the last couple of years. This was a crazy opportunity, and I would never have been in the position without your incredible support. Thank you.